The Hyacinth Macaw, Anadyrhynchus hyacintinus, or Hyacinthine macaw, is a parrot native to Central and Eastern South America. With a length, from the top of its head to the tip of its long pointed tail, of about 1 meter, it is longer than any other species of parrot. It is the largest macaw and the largest flying parrot species. The flightless of New Zealand outweighs it at up to 3.5 kilograms. While generally easily recognized, it could be confused with the smaller Lear's macaw. Habitat loss and the trapping of wild birds for the pet trade have taken a heavy toll on their population in the wild, so the species is classified as vulnerable on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List 1, and it is protected by its listing on Appendix I of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES. The Hyacinth Macaw in 1790 under the binomial name Psittacus hyacintinus. 3. Tony Pittman in 2000 hypothesized that although the illustration in this work appears to be of an actual hyacinthine macaw, Latham's description of the length of the bird might mean he had measured a specimen of Lear's macaw instead. 4. However, Latham's description was based on a taxidermic specimen, which was the only one Latham knew to exist up until 1822. It was prepared from a living animal originally belonging to Lord Orford, and given to the land agent Parkinson for display in the Laverian Museum after it died. Nonetheless, Latham mentions another bird, which he calls the blue macaw, supposedly the same size. 5-6. This blue macaw was already described in Latham's 1781 volume of his A General Synopsis of Birds as merely a variety of the blue and yellow macaw. 7. And was previously figured in the work of Mauderon Jacques Brisson 1760, 8, Patrick Brown, 1756-9, and Eleazar Albin, 1738-10, as a macaw found in Jamaica. 7. Albin, Brown and Brisson all reference even older authors and state the bird also occurs on the mainland, 8, 9, 10, and Albin states this bird is the female version of the scarlet macaw. 10. Latham mentions that the provenance of parrots in general was often confused by the fact that the birds were much traded across the world for the purposes of sale. 7. It is one of 2 extant and 1 probably extinct species of the South American macaw genus. The Hyacinth macaw's stunning cobalt blue coloring and massive size will cause anyone to pause and take notice. Bright yellow around the eyes and at the base and the corners of the beak makes the largest of the macaw species appear to be in a perpetual smile. This is a parrot for someone who afford a hefty price tag and who has space to spare. The Hyacinth macaw is possibly the most stunning of the macaw family, and is certainly the largest. It is the largest of all parrots. Originally from Brazil, Paraguay, and Bolivia, the hyacinth is the Great Dane of companion birds, with the mature male reaching over 40 inches in length. Very few people actually have a Hyacinth macaw as a companion, and will probably only have the pleasure of seeing one in a zoo or a larger bird shop. Despite its size, penchant for destruction, oddness and expense, this blue macaw is the penultimate companion bird for the person who has the time, patience and wallet to properly keep this beautiful beast. The Hyacinth macaw is a stunning cobalt color all over its body, with a ring of bright yellow around its eye and the same color yellow at the base and the corners of its beak. It is often referred to simply as a blue macaw. The hyacinth is not twice as large as other large macaws, though its big personality makes other macaws seem like dwarves in its presence. The right owner for a Hyacinth macaw is someone who has either kept many birds successfully before, or someone who has done a lot of research, has consulted the experts, and knows exactly what they're getting into. Still, the hyacinth is not a great first bird simply because it can be a handful. Hyacinth macaws need a very specific diet. In the wild, this bird's diet consists almost wholly of palm nuts from 2 specific types of palm trees. Hyacinths harvest the nuts from the trees in the wild, though the bird also has a very characteristic way of finding the nuts already stripped of their tough, fibrous outer coating. Hyacinths forage in cattle lands looking for dung containing the nuts, which are indigestible to the cattle, but easier for the hyacinth to open. The cow has done most of the work. The Hyacinth macaw's diet is very high in fat, and though you may not be able to find palm nuts, especially those pre-digested by cattle, you can substitute Brazil nuts, walnuts, almonds, macadamias, coconut, pistachios and cashews. Lefebvre macaw foods address these dietary needs. Avy cakes, nutri-berries, parrot pellets and more contribute to a healthy diet that also encourage foraging for pet hyacinths. You will probably never see an obese Hyacinth macaw. They seem to metabolize fat very easily and, in fact, need to be encouraged to eat anything else, such as fruits and vegetables, which should be fed daily. Of course, a good seed and pellets-based diet can be offered as well. This large bird needs an exceptionally large housing area. Be willing to devote a large part of their home to this bird. A regular cage isn't appropriate in this case. Not only are most commercial cages too small, the Hyacinth Macaw can easily break out of them. A custom cage or one of the very largest commercial cages would do, though a full room, patio or other safely enclosed, bird-proofed area is better. All birds benefit from flying, and this bird will need a lot of room if it's going to enjoy this important exercise. Even a Hyacinth Macaw with trimmed wing feathers needs plenty of room to flap and clamber around. Hyacinths can be very destructive and need lots of wooden toys and branches to chew. A sturdy play gym is a must, though even the sturdiest commercially built play gyms will have a hard time withstanding the hyacinth's strong beak. Large, safe, replaceable play trees are a good bet, too. This bird, like all parrots, needs a lot of free time daily to play with its humans or just hang out. It is a social bird, usually seen in pairs or in small groups in the wild. They are not loners, and will languish without company. Also, confined hyacinth will become cranky and neurotic, and can begin to self-mutilate and scream excessively. They will get along with other birds, particularly New World parrots, but individuals should be introduced early. Personality and behavior. Often called a gentle giant, the Hyacinth Macaw is indeed affectionate, but gentle it is not. Hyacinths subdue very easily, but they tend to want to play rough with other Hyacinth Macaws, and with their person. Its beak carries over 200 pounds of pressure per inch too. That means that it could snap a broomstick in half with one crunch. Even a very tame Hyacinth Macaw can still be nippy, if you could call that big beak nippy, but that is usually playful behavior. Because its beak is so intimidating, this bird is best kept by a person who is not daunted by the thought of being bitten. There's no guarantee, even with the tamest bird, that the occasional bite will not happen. Speech and sound. If you have close neighbors, you may want to reconsider getting a Hyacinth Macaw. This bird is extremely loud and prone to screeching. One hyacinth might not be so annoying to neighbors, but a pair will pump up the volume. Also, a loud Hyacinth Macaw can call the attention of bird nappers looking to sell such an expensive bird, so make sure to keep your bird safe from potential theft. Hyacinth Macaws are not the best talkers among the macaws, but they will learn a few favorite words and phrases and repeat them over and over. These birds are highly intelligent, and may learn to contextualize certain words as well. Health and common conditions. Hyacinth Macaws are especially prone to overgrown beaks and need a steady supply of safe items to chew. As with other macaw species, Hyacinth Macaws are susceptible to proventricular dilatation disease, macaw wasting disease, psittacosis and papillomas. A diet catering to a Hyacinth Macaw's special needs as well as regular health exams is key to maintaining good health. Get a Hyacinth Macaw. Hyacinth Macaws are not often found in full-service pet shops because they are quite expensive. Retail buyers should expect to pay upwards of $10,000 for a young hyacinth, perhaps more for a mature, ready-to-breed adult. Pairs bring top dollar, especially if they are proven, having bred successfully before. Because these birds are so rare, many of them are on breeding programs, rather than being bred by novices. Many breeders hope eventually to reintroduce the species into the wild, where their numbers are rapidly declining. It is almost not fair to the species to see them in pet-only homes, when there is a real